is on peer reviews, quality assurance to ensure well-informed decisions. His expertise garnered at PwC and Deloitte and experiential insight from starting and scaling businesses are invaluable for maintaining scientific excellence and achieving organizational objectives. His proven business acumen led to the successful founding of Kranz's Pizza Cafe, a chain of cafes in South Wales, Australia, known for awesome pizzas and good vibes. Mr. Jonathan's wide-range expertise encompasses technology, finance, management, sales, business administration, and innovation. His academic background stems from Utah State University with several certifications in multiple fields. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, who else deserves this time with us other than Jonathan Woods? Let's have Jonathan Woods come up and join us as he takes us through the journey of assessing risk in investment. Thank you.
Good morning. I would like to first start off by taking you through 3 situations, followed by which I'll give a bit of an introduction of more about myself. I'll talk about operational risk, which is what I work in. Then I want to go back to those 3 situations and talk to you about my view of those 3 situations. And then afterwards, I'd like to do something a little bit different and a little bit participation. So for the first 3 situations. So I've worked in banking for a very long time, and primarily consulting. And I've worked in the U.S., worked in Scotland, and worked in Sydney, Australia. While I was working in Scotland, I was involved with one of my clients, and they had a technology issue. They had a black swan event. A black swan event is one of those things you don't plan for, you don't expect to happen. It happens. And this event that happened was using technology. There's a way to use Microsoft SCCM in order to roll out patches, and also in order to do tasks across a huge number of servers. Someone made a mistake. Someone, instead of doing the normal protocol, they accidentally put some SQL code in the front, where they were supposed to just delete or erase about just a few servers. But they put the wrong SQL code in the front. And what happened was, for this bank, it systematically started erasing all of the servers. And for 2 hours of time, it just went erase. And if this would have kept going, it would have erased all of the normal servers. It would have also erased all of the backup servers. So everything would have been gone. That was scenario number 1. Luckily, it only ran for 2 hours. It stopped. Scenario number 2 was at my pizzeria in Avalon in Sydney, Australia. So I was running the pizzeria. I was in there for the night. My main manager needed to go for the night, and so I had young Jazzy, who was running the pizza oven, and I was exhausted. So I said, Jazzy, hey, can you close the shop tonight in about an hour? It looks like we're pretty much done. And she said, sure thing, boss. So she went about it. Now Jazzy's about 17. Jazzy's very capable. Jazzy is she's probably, in her age class, probably the number 2 surfer in Australia. So she's somebody who's not somebody you would think as not being a very capable person. That night, she accidentally unplugged the main freezer, and with that, all the prawns went to waste that night. So we had hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of waste that night. So that's situation number 2. Situation number 3, very personal. About a month ago, I got a call from my ex-wife. She said, hurry, get home fast, and there's an emergency. I said, okay, what's going on? They said, my son Marcus, 18 years old, passed out, we don't know what happened. So we got in the car, drove to his house very quickly. Girlfriend, hysterical, he's naked in the shower, passed out, having a seizure. Very scary event. I got in there, I helped him, I brought him back. We called the emergency, and it was the start that he has now has been diagnosed with epilepsy. So very scary, very big change in his career destination. So hold those thoughts for those three situations. My background is in operational risk. Operational risk means that I look at an organization and I help to identify what the big risks are. And what the risks are the big things that can go wrong, or the big threats to an organization. And really what I'm evaluating is how resilient is that organization. So really what I'm evaluating is the organization ready for the future, ready for the future bad things that could happen to it? And so really what I do is I'll take a look, I'll look at maybe the cyber risk and parts of the different elements of the cyber risks. And I'll take a look at it, I'll look at the likelihood, I'll look at the impact, and I'll put an evaluation, I'll look at all the controls, and we'll test the controls, make sure the controls are there to prevent those bad things from happening. And then we also look at all the incidents that happen. And all the incidents we identify, and we say, okay, this server went down. Why did this server go down? Okay, and we identify what went wrong, and then we fix it so it doesn't go wrong in the future. So that's my main job. And so my job is a view in resiliency. I look at resiliency in business, in banking, my personal business, but then I also look at resiliency in my own personal life. I take that very personal, because if I am resilient, I am able to be capable to do the things I need to do. So I want to go back to those three situations. Those three situations. So when we went back to that bank, the bank where the servers, where everything was being erased one by one. It was terrifying for the bank. Many people worked many long hours that weekend. We had to actually go to different branches and pull out cassettes and pull everything back. But I can tell you, the media never even caught wind that this happened. Nobody even knew it happened, because we were able to identify it. And when I look at this thing that happened, some people might say, "Oh, that's a really terrible thing that happened." I don't look at it like that. I look at it like, good. I'm glad that happened, because you know what? We found a weakness. We found a weakness, and we can now make a strength. We can now take that thing, and we can now make it into something that's good for us. There was one person who made a mistake. Now, it's very justified that we can say, okay, fire that man, fire that person because they made a mistake, and they made a mistake that couldn't clear the bank. But you know what? What's the opposite? That person was actually trying to do a good job. They had no intention of doing a bad job. Do you think they would have learned their lesson from that? Do you think they would be a very, very loyal employee based on that? And in fact, whose fault was it that happened? Was it that person's, or was it the actual bank's? Should the bank have had better protocols in place to ensure that couldn't happen? Second scenario, in the pizzeria, little Jazzy, who she's very sweet. She's actually quite tough, but she makes great pizzas. She's been a devout employee for a long time. I had two options. I could have taken Jazzy and said, Jazzy, what happened? You know, you really cost me a lot of money, and I could have actually lost a lot in my emotional bank account with her. It would have gone way down. But instead, I said, Jazzy, don't worry about it. Thank you for doing it. And so then I called my management team and I said, okay, what went wrong? Why was it so easy for her to make a mistake as to turn off the wrong when she was trying to turn off the coffee machine, that she turned off the wrong thing? Oh, okay, let's fix that. Let's make sure we change the cords. Let's make sure that we have an IoT device that tells us that the power has gone down, that the freezer is now heating up. So we fix that. And guess what? I don't expect to have that problem again. Now the thing that's tougher is my son, right? So my son, he's been, I mean, I get emotional. He has epilepsy now, you know. He works on boats. He's trained to be a ferry captain. He can't do that. That's off the cards. If you have epilepsy, you can't do those things. So he's gone through his training. He's gone through his certifications. He really worked hard to get into this position. He can't do that. But you know what? Even with that, I said, good. Guess what? He's 18 years old. We found out early that he's got this genetic issue. He's got this thing where he's got epilepsy. He's got good medication now. And guess what? He's early enough that he can pivot. He can now choose to go a different direction. He can go after something where he can probably earn a lot more money, in fact. He can actually have a better job, in fact. And it could drive him to have a better life, in fact. So with all these things, whenever there's these adversities, whenever these what in technology we call incidents that happen, those incidents, those are good things. Those are good things because they show you your weaknesses. They show you how to make yourself stronger. They make you more resilient for the future. Now, I'm going to do a quick exercise with you all. Charles, you probably didn't even know this, that one of my secret skills I have is I'm very into meditation. I'm very into breath work. Have any of you ever done breath work before? No. All right. Have any of you ever been caught 2 o'clock in the morning, worried sick about something?
Yes.
Yeah. Have any of you been almost about to go do something, but been terrified and just been worried about it? You've been in that situation? Okay. I'm going to show you a couple tricks. And this is to make yourself more resilient, more able to cope. This is, using IT terms, this is kind of restarting the system. Okay. So first thing, I'm going to ask for a lot of participation in this. So first thing is, this is the short-term thing. If you're about to go into a meeting and maybe you just had a fight with your boss, or maybe something, or a fight with a colleague, and you've got to then change your mindset, and then you've got to be in the right mindset. Here's a quick, easy thing. Okay. So first you do 2 breaths in, and then 1 long breath out. So do it in through your nose, out through the mouth. So everybody all together. Again. That simple thing can change your state of mind and how you feel. Sometimes that's not enough though. Sometimes I find myself 2 o'clock in the morning, stressed out of my mind. Now, what happens there is my mind's in what they call the prefrontal cortex. So that's the part of our mind that's like really evolved, which is amazing. It allows you to think of the past, present, the future all at once. It allows you to imagine how I can imagine how I look up on stage right now and see myself in that perspective. Something that a lot of the animals can't do, but it's something that humans are able to do. Sometimes it gets in the way though, because sometimes when you're thinking about the past, present, the future, sometimes when you're thinking about all these things and you're thinking about all those things all at once, it's your mind starts really happening. So here's what I do in those situations. What I do is I take a long breath in for a count of 5. Then I take I hold that breath for a count of 5. Then I take a long breath out for a count of 5, and then I hold it on an empty lungs for a count of 10 to 15. Are you guys okay to participate with me on this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, breathe in for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. How do you feel? It takes you into a different perspective. If you are ever in a situation where your mind is worried and you are thinking about yesterday, you're thinking about this situation that happened yesterday, try it. It will bring you back to the present. And on that note, I just want to thank Dr. Charles so much for having me here, and thank you all so much. So, thank you.